get over it. That's why. Look at all the MVPs of who? All European or foreign-born players, right?
Exactly.
Alan, where are you on this? And
now, mind you, think about it. Giannis, Luka, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid. People that have played outside of the country are like, the NBA is easy. Why? Because nobody can touch you. If you even touch LeBron be falling on the floor and it's a foul. Listen, I'm telling y'all, listen.
What should the NBA do?
Well, here's the problem.
Now, this is why I don't agree with Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas went on record saying, in order for the NBA to be great again, you know what they got to do? They got to get rid of all the European and out-of-country players. Do you want to know why he wants it? Do you know why he wants to do that?
I got my swag right, feeling crispy clean. Girl, I'm the flyest mother you've ever seen. So much money.
Welcome back to True Hall of Fame Builds. I'm your host, Michael May. And today, we're going to be reacting to The Odd Couple. Shout out to these fellas, man. Listen, today we're going to break this down, right? I want you to understand. The other day I told you guys about how the NBA is tanking, viewership is down, people are not watching it. This guy, Adam Silver, he's not developing no stars. But I want you guys to understand something. We're gonna pay attention. Cause I'm gonna give you stats. I'm gonna give you facts. NBA is looking to balance offense and defense with concerning scoring explosion. Hear me out. Commissioner David Stern, right? He knew this was around the corner. He knew this was coming around the corner. And I guarantee you, that's one of the reasons why he boogied. I'm telling you this right now. Hear me out. Because he stopped being the commissioner in 2014. But to my understanding, now that I've learned more about, things going on in the NBA, the commissioner doesn't have complete autonomy of all the rules that are going to be passed in the NBA. But I think that he was able to look around the corner and see. Pay attention. I'm going to let these guys, listen to me, hear me out. Pay attention. Look. Listen, man, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn notification. Fair use to these brothers. I want y'all guys to, I want y'all to hear this debate. Not even debate. They're speaking facts. Listen.
And there's a story out there today, Alan, and you know this.
Hold up.
And it all stems from that horrible All-Star game. I knew
it was going to be bad. I didn't.
But you didn't know it was going to be a 211 point bad.
I had a feeling. I didn't watch.
Did you see Adam Silver?
I watched True Detective.
I'm not mad at you. Adam Silver had the look on his face of disgust. Because remember, before the whole thing, he was telling everybody how this is going to be competitive. Hey, let's make this competitive and entertaining for the fans.
Had NBA legends going to the locker room.
Like if just fell on deaf ears.
Yeah.
Now, the All-Star game has been tanking for at least 10 years now. We can't cap, right? I want you to understand. I've been telling you guys, though, the NBA has been getting worse and worse year by year. Hear me out. You want to know, you're going to hear some things right now. Hear me out. You're going to hear some things in this video that's going to bother some of y'all LeBron fans. I want y'all to understand. I think I'm not going to, you guys use your own opinion and make your own judgment. Based on what they're about to say, I think that David Stern wanted to keep the NBA the same way. But I think what happened, hear me out, just hear me. I think what happened was in 2005, they started changing the rules to the NBA. Why? Why? Because LeBron was in the league now. So hear me. I'm going to also have to go on a limb and say, I think Kobe Bryant took advantage. I think Kobe took advantage and said, hold on. They're going to make these changes? Bet. It's time for me to step my... Hold up. It's all going to make sense. It's all going to make sense. It's all going to make sense, y'all. It's all going to make sense. I promise you. Kobe's last championship was 2010. Listen to me. Listen to me. The rules had already changed. So it's my belief that Kobe said, oh, y'all gonna change the rules? Bet. So I think Kobe revved up his activity towards the end of his career. Now, this is gonna kill the whole GOAT debate right now. Hear me out. Just remember, the NBA started changing at 2005. LeBron was in the league and he got drafted, what was it? 2003. Pay attention. Pay attention. Y'all hearing them talk. Listen, it all has to do, listen, David Stern put that last final deal through. People didn't want to deal with Adam Silver. They did not want to deal with that man. I promise you, that man does not know how to develop talent for the sake of his life. But let's keep rocking and rolling.
And the other thing is the NBA, Alan, is looking for a new TV deal. You know, like their TV.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're ABC, ESPN, TNT, the boss at TNT is already on the record saying we could survive without the NBA.
Exactly.
On the record.
Yeah.
Because they're letting people know you guys have done a job on us, stars sitting out, load management, and then these terrible All-Star games.
Right.
And then
Now, see, the NBA has kind of allowed, as you see now, as you have to play 65 games in order to qualify, or 63 games, something like that, in order to qualify for the MVP. So that's allowing people to do load management. That was never a thing before 2005. I'm telling y'all, David Stern knew this was coming around the corner. He was already in contractual agreement. He did his sentence, and they had a hard time finding a commissioner from 2010 to 2014. They found Adam, and he got out of Dodge immediately. Listen to me. Listen to me. Hear me. LeBron James did not win his first chip till 2013. Y'all gonna hear some proof. I think what happened was this. Back in the day, the NBA was defensive heavy, and LeBron couldn't compete. All those guys, LeBron didn't have enough help. LeBron didn't. Jordan only really had Pippen. He had other players, but all he had was Pippen. And they drafted him. They drafted Pippen. LeBron already went on file saying him and Wade called each other and spoke and said, yo, if we don't come together, Kobe's going to go and get that 6th or 7th ring. I'm telling y'all, because listen to the proof. Listen to the proof. I'm gonna hurt some of y'all feelings. I'm telling y'all. I guarantee y'all they changed the rules in basketball to speed the game up. And they knew that the new players coming in the league, they weren't going to be able to compete with the players. Listen. Oh my gosh.
Everybody was like, well, the All-Star game was up 14%. Well, last year, Alan, it was the all-time lowest.
Low, yeah.
So it was up 14%, but guess what? Now last year was the all-time worst, and this year is the second all-time worst. So it wasn't like it bounced up and people were like, oh, we like this. No, the last 2 years are the two worst NBA All-Star TV ratings, and it's getting worse.
It's bad.
It really is. But, Rob G., there was some news, a story today. Clue us in.
And I like
thinking about going solar, but not sure.
I like that these guys are speaking real about it.
Well, before you get
They're not afraid. Listen.
Well, Rob, it goes beyond just the All-Star game, okay? Scoring averages in the NBA are the highest since 1969-1970 season. The league has set a record for offensive efficiency 6 times in the last 8 seasons, all right? It's a scoring explosion.
You can't touch anybody. You can't play defense. Or you like Dennis Rodman and the Bad Boys, they wouldn't even be able to play in this league.
Listen, pay attention. I'm telling you guys, I think that they knew. Now, that already eliminates all that conversation. LeBron would have been able to play in the Jordan's era. LeBron would have been able to play in Jordan's era, yes. All that. But you didn't touch me, you didn't touch me. All that is out the window. Go over there and play your game. Go play your game. That's what you call deep. Listen.
Without a doubt. They couldn't play Rambis, rest of those guys.
None of those guys. Oakley,
nothing.
Anthony Mason. None of those guys could play.
And with all that in mind, ESPN reported earlier today in a long-form piece that Joe Dumars, the league executive vice president,
who played on the Bad Boys,
head of basketball.
Listen. I'm putting all this to bed. I want y'all to understand. I know that they knew that these young kids coming in, if you look at Steph Curry when he first came into the league, you were tossing him around. Listen, a lot of these teams, look at these players coming in, they're so small. They're so tiny. Back in the day, it isn't many times that somebody comes in like a Dwight Howard with these big broad shoulders. LeBron came in, he was tall, but LeBron wasn't like the way he looked in Miami. LeBron was a little slim, got bigger. Then LeBron started trimming down again. But I want you guys to understand, listen.
Basketball operations and the league as a whole are considering changes to curb this offensive explosion. Here's Dumars on the record. It's a topic that we're monitoring. We're diving in right now to make sure we're on the right side of this. It's not to the point yet of rule changes. We're diving into it right now. Ton of film, putting together a ton of reels to be able to look at it.
Now, isn't this funny? Pay attention. They're looking into it because in 2005 is when the basketball rules changed, where now you can't even touch nobody. It's like in football, how there were certain hits that people were like, fam, he's actively throwing the ball. Like, why can't I hit this dude? Like, come on, that's crazy. Why do you think people like Holmes, they're untouchable? I'm telling you, some of these things were done, and now they're going to have to revert back. Listen.
And they say, okay, yeah, we do have a problem, but we don't want to make changes just like that on an anecdotal call.
Well, I think Joe D and Adam Silver and the powers that be that run the NBA, they have a problem, Alan, on their hands.
Yep.
And they better not. You got to be real careful. You can run fans off. I know a lot of people, you remember the old days. The NBA is.
Hold on. Why do you think there's a reason why people always say people can't stand LeBron? I've seen LeBron put his shoulder down bulldoze over people, go up and get a layup, and they'd be like, it's a foul. LeBron committed the contact. That's how they were trying to build LeBron. And I think Kobe just it's like when Shaq said, hear me. Yeah, I remember when Shaq was like, yo, Dave, if they don't stop fouling me, I'm going to start knocking people out. I'm going to start swinging. So then he was like, oh, so you're complaining about teams? Okay, Shaq, come here. Come look at this. There was 22 teams that were complaining about Shaq. Yo, he's mad big. He's like, Shaq, the 3-second rule, hanging on the rim. You can't yank the rim no more. All this is because of Shaq. So Shaq was like, oh, so y'all want to cry like babies? I got something for y'all. So Shaq said, now I'm going to go even harder. So Shaq took advantage of being that physical and that obnoxious to the league that he caught a wave and they couldn't do anything. I think Kobe was the same thing. Kobe knew the rules was changing. He said, oh, so they can't touch me now? Bet, let's go full speed ahead. Kobe went and got those last 2 rings immediately. Kobe went and got those last 2 rings with Paul Gasol immediately. Now, when the rules changed, 8 years later, LeBron went and got his title. Why? Because now he had D-Wade, now he had Bosh. Now you had to guard more people that left LeBron. Why do you think LeBron always wants to surround himself with shooters, people to spread the floor? Why? Because LeBron understands that you can't get physical with him on defense, but he can get physical with you on offense, because that's the way. I'm telling y'all, when they wanted to change those rules, I'm telling you, David Stern, I'm telling y'all, because these same guys, I'm sure you got the video where they speak about David Stern wanted out. Once Kobe's era was gone, he wanted out. He didn't want no. It took him 4 years to find a commissioner to take over. 4 years. He was done. When Kobe was done, he was trying to leave. Why? Because he gave basketball its best years. Now, nobody's really watching basketball. No one's watching it thoroughly. Why? You can't even touch these players. That's why, if you notice, are y'all guys paying attention to right now? Are y'all guys seeing that now they're calling more of those offensive fouls on LeBron? Y'all seen all those times when LeBron would swipe down on somebody's hand and it'd be a rip. He stole the ball. But then if you do it to LeBron, no, you can't do that. Because that's how they were propping up LeBron. But LeBron there's too many things that go against LeBron to ever be the GOAT. There's too many things that go against him. But now let's keep rocking and rolling.
Fantastic. It was about the fans. Remember that? NBA is fantastic. But this is a league that turned fans off at one point, where their championship games were on tape delay. Like
right.
You remember those days.
Mm-hmm.
You watched the late local news at 11, and the sportscaster would say, if you plan on watching the NBA Finals tonight.
Now, if he ever watches it, shout out to Shaq. Shout out to Charles Barkley. Because they're the only ones on TV that are bigging up Nikola Jokic. Why? Because they're like, he is the best player in the NBA. Period. Did y'all see yesterday when he was playing against Porzingis and he came down court and just bodied him and Porzingis fell on the floor? This man is a different kind of animal. I want y'all guys to understand something, right? That they don't want to give credit to anybody else because LeBron is still in the league. Ready? Nobody, when LeBron came back against the Clippers, look at him, he's the GOAT. This is why he's the GOAT. He came back and won it against these guys. But then when he lost against the Nuggets the very next day, no one said anything. Well, you know, low management, he's kind of... Then when he went up against OKC, oh my God, he's so great. Did you see what he did? And the very next day he lost the Kings. They're trying to hold on to LeBron because there's no other stars that Adam Silver has developed. There's no other stars. Let's keep going. Why? Because nobody else is
Turn
worth
down your
watching.
sound or turn your head. And they'd hold up the score of the game.
Yeah.
And then CBS would play it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like that. And this league, Alan, I've been covering the NBA since 1987. And I'm talking about, I've been watching this since I was
1987. You would think that this guy would have some kind of knowledge, right? But I know some of you guys are gonna be like, no, he's biased. Listen, I'm 40 years old. I've been around long enough to watch the NBA and seeing Jordan play, seeing Kobe play, seeing Shaq play, seeing Yao play, seeing Tracy McGrady play, and the NBA's went like this. Steady decline. Sorry, this way. Steady decline. It ain't the same no more. Hear me out. And then when Dirk retired, they better be lucky that I even still watch basketball, because Dirk is the real GOAT. Dirk is the best player that ever played basketball. Don't argue with me. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Any of y'all know Dirk Nowitzki. Tell Dirk I said that myself. Dirk is the best player who ever played basketball. Don't argue with me. Let's keep rocking and rolling.
a kid, but I mean
Exactly.
covering it, going to games, being there. I was there when Michael Jordan made that shot over Craig Elo, sitting courtside. I could give you so many great games and situations I've been in. But the idea that you can't touch anybody defensively,
Yep.
and
Get physical.
you can't get physical, and you penalize the defense, has gone way the other
Yep.
way. All the European players talk about it. It's easier to score.
Maybe that's hold up. Somebody get All City. Somebody send this to All City. Somebody send this to Brutal Sims. Somebody send this to Uncle Demi. Maybe that's what's translating over to 2K. Because if NBA wants 2K to simulate real basketball, then in real basketball, they don't really care about defense. They care about offense and you guys scoring. Maybe. But let's keep going.
In this league than anything that they've ever faced. They can't even
yeah.
get over it. That's why look at all the MVPs are who? All European or foreign-born players, right?
Exactly.
Alan, where are you on this? And
Now, mind you, think about it. Giannis, Luka, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid. People that have played outside of the country are like, the NBA is easy. Why? Because nobody can touch you. If you even touch LeBron be falling on the floor and it's a foul. Listen, I'm telling y'all, listen.
what should the NBA do?
Well, here's the problem.
Now, this is why I don't agree with Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas went on record saying, in order for the NBA to be great again, you know what they got to do? They got to get rid of all the European and out of country players. Do you want to know why he wants it? Do you know why he wants to do that? Because he knows that those guys are exposing NBA basketball in this country. They are killing the NBA basketball. Why? Because over there, they used to playing physical, getting beat up. Here, you can't touch them. So they feel like they playing against high school players.
Problem the NBA has, you have a lot of coaches now in the league who are also offensive minded, and they complain about guys like Thibodeau, who more or less sort of tries to.
Who was the coach that Jimmy Butler was under when he was over there at the Bulls? Did y'all see how the Bulls every year damn near made it to the playoffs? Why? Because they had a defensive-minded coach. It sucks that they weren't rewarded for who they actually were being and they were contributing to the game. Because they remember playing basketball back when they played, it was physical. You couldn't be physical after 2005. Pay attention. Listen to the facts coming up.
Stress defense. League is not physical. And you got guys who whine about it being too physical. I see guys now get fouls where they look at the player like they want to fight over the lightest little foul. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea what it used to be like.
Watch Jordan when he came in the league.
You know, any of those guys go down. Bird had back problems because he got knocked on his butt a lot. I mean,
and folks don't know that. Bird went on record saying he used to play with the hot patches on his back because they used to knock him down so much. Bruh, that basketball is a physical sport. You're banging on bodies. You're pushing. You're shoving. How can you make it in a league where you can't even touch somebody but you want to stop them from scoring? How? I'm telling you, that became the rise of LeBron James. LeBron James came in the league for 2-3 years. They're like, yo, this is tough. LeBron can't play with these boys. Trust me.
It was a physical league. But now the problem is you got so many players in the league.
My friend used to pay $160 for car insurance.
They're going to speak facts.
Now look how much he pays.
Who don't know how to play defense. It's never been stressed to them a little bit. You know, that stopped in college for a lot of these guys. And then you got a lot of guys in the NBA, and that's another problem.
Did you hear what he said? And this is another fact. You have a lot of dudes in the NBA that they don't know how to play defense.
You've got a lot of guys in the NBA.
Why do you think Harden used to get away? Not anymore. They changed that rule because of James Harden. Ready? If you were guarding him like this, he would come into contact and swing his arm around your arm, and it'd be a foul. He got away with that. What was it? What was it for 2 years? Harden led the league in free throws. He would always. People were like, "Yo, he's swinging his arm. He's swinging, but he's shooting. But like you're in his way. And if you even put your arm out at least a little bit, just to even reach, he would swing his arm just to get the foul. That's what he was doing. They changed that rule in 2020. Harden has never been the same. Never been the same. Let's keep rocking and rolling.
Who are one and doneers, right? I'm one and done. So I would, if I was ever going to learn any defense or fundamentals in that side of the thing, I didn't learn it because I got out of college in 1 year and I joined the NBA where I was just told to be offensive, and that's how you get the headlines, and that's how you get the money, that's how you get the recognition. Defensive stoppers don't get recognition too much unless you go overboard like Draymond Green,
right?
And you sort of make kind of like a spectacle of yourself.
But at one point, it wasn't
right. That's why people who their specialty is defense, they don't care. They don't care. They're like, fam, if he's gonna cry like a little girl, then let him cry like a little girl. I'm not gonna stop playing defense. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit there and just let guys run past him. That's why Draymond, that's why I can't lie. I love Draymond. I love him. And these referees, when it comes to Draymond playing defense on LeBron, they're like that one guy who's always the referee at Floyd Mayweather's fights. If you hit Floyd one time, he's in the middle of it. Like, stop, hold on. Keep your hands up. They're like, nigga, like, let us fight. What's wrong with this? Because I'm telling you, these guys know the rules and they took advantage. But LeBron, he was never successful until 8 years after the rules were implemented. After the 2005, listen, they're going to tell you.
Now, wait, we talked about it when we always talk about Dennis Rodman. He didn't score any points. You know what I mean? He played defense. He D'd you up. We've seen teams, that Pistons team we talk about in 2004 when they beat Shaq and Kobe. Go look. They got that. Larry Brown was the coach. You didn't play defense. You didn't play.
You don't have any rim protectors hardly anymore. It's a different game. Everybody thinks they can.
Now, for my 2K heads, why do you think I always tell y'all? If you don't play defense, I'm not rewarding you. If you can't stop your man, you're not going to score. I don't care if it's the game-winning shot and you're wide open in the corner by yourself. You will not get the ball from me. Simple.
Shoot 3-pointers, and you're not going to get any fouls that way.
Yeah, and that's the Steph Curry effect. They talking about he changed the game
Yeah.
for the worse. He changed it for the worse.
Right. Everybody thinks they
Right.
can shoot threes now.
You know, it's bad. Rob G, what you got?
Well, you mentioned those Piston teams of 2004, right? The Larry Brown Piston team, the
Yes.
team that
You
robbed
still
my
anguish
Lakers
over.
of a
Right.
fourth championship.
You know, Rob G is still sick that 2004 Pistons team. Am I right,
was a
Rob?
fluke. It was
It
a
wasn't a fluke
But-
because they went back to the NBA Finals the next year and lost in 7 games to the Spurs. That was a really good team.
Right. So Chauncey Billups spoke to ESPN for this story.
Oh,
Now
great.
he coaches with the Blazers. And his opinion is that actually those Piston teams, specifically that 05 finals between the Spurs and the Pistons, which was one of the lowest rated NBA
He's
finals
right.
in NBA history, he thinks that's the turning point for when they decided to make this shift towards offensive basketball. Here's what he said. That series changed the game because if you get to the pinnacle like that and the ratings are that poor, something has to change.
He's 100% right.
Yeah.
And people were like, they didn't want that. The year 2004, they held 11 straight opponents. Rob G, you can look it up. It's either 11 or 13. 11 straight, Allen. Under 70 points. Rob G, under 70 points in the NBA. Teams are scoring 60 in a quarter or 55 in a quarter. I mean, they're like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's how much. And I agree with Chauncey. Because people in the league were like, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see a 75 to 69 game. We're not looking for that.
I still remember the playoffs when Tayshaun Prince ran down Reggie Miller and blocked that shot. I mean, you know, they had Ben Wallace,
Rasheed Wallace.
I mean, there's
right.
some guys.
Don't forget now. Lindsey Hunter hosted the show yesterday.
Yeah.
he was on the pit bulls with him and Mike James. You remember them in the
Yeah.
backcourt?
Yeah.
Oh, they were tough. They were tough. I used to always joke with Lindsey Hunter when I worked in Detroit. Lindsey and I would go back and forth. I go, Lindsey, I know I could score on you.
Oh, wow.
I used to play.
Is that right?
I used to play against Joe Dumars and those guys a lot. And Lindsey go like, you would never score on me.
Lindsey was a defensive specialist. There's no doubt about it. But this is where we are, Alan. And I think the NBA, they got to dial it back. They got to give defensive players a chance to play defense.
Yep.
And stop with all these ticky-tack fouls. You can't touch anybody. When Michael Jordan played, you could put your hand
Hand on
in his back,
hand
and then
checking.
you remember they
Yep.
made you have the bent elbow.
Yep.
Then you could still touch him, though.
Right.
And now you can't touch him. I remember that.
Listen, what have y'all always heard me say? Hold on. What have y'all always heard me say? In 2K, when you see this, see, y'all not listening to me, man. I'm ahead of my time. That's really what it is, y'all. In every stage, facet in my life, I've always been ahead of the curve. I am always ahead of everybody. I just don't get the same light and the shine as everybody else. But I've been saying this. Go look at Cobra's Twitter when Cobra said, yo, when y'all see this elbow, shout out to True Hall of Fame. He did a whole video on it. I've been telling y'all guys this on NBA 2K for 2 years. I'm going on 3 years. I've been telling y'all for 2 years. When you see somebody play elbow defense like this, you always spin to the elbow. Always make sure you spin this way, because it's always going to give you the push animation. This made the basketball game worse. Back in the day, when you was able to hand check and hold and feel, now you could, remember this, when Jordan used to lean like that, you could feel him. Yeah, you could see what Jordan used to tell Kobe, you got to feel. You got to feel. You know what I'm saying? Feel for, look and see what, you can't do that no more. We not in that league no more. Now we in this league. Now you gotta hold your body on them. Now I'm telling y'all. Why? Cause now this brings you closer than this. This brings you at least what? 1.5 feet, a little closer to somebody. Come on now. Y'all gotta pay attention, man. I've been telling y'all this for the longest time.
Finals when Miami, and you remember they gave all the free throws to Dwayne Wade. He had like 100 free throws. Like, it was ridiculous. And that's where we are now. It is so bad, and it's unwatchable. I think the NBA is unwatchable.
And it's like,
We're gonna stop it right there. Isn't it funny They went and brought it all the way to Miami. People know that was the only way they were going to be able to prop up the star that they wanted in LeBron. LeBron was always going to be the person that was going to carry the league next. Bro, in 21 years, he only got 4 rings. That's a shame. That's sad. In 9 finals appearances, he only got 4. That's pathetic. But you're the king. You called yourself the king. No one called him the king. We're going to leave it at that, though. I told you guys, hear me, even the TV companies are like, we don't need the NBA. We'll be just fine because they're not doing ratings anyway. No one wants to watch them guys. Why? Because their games, they're not allowing those guys to play basketball no more. I'm telling y'all, listen, man, it is what it is, man. Y'all already know. True Hall of Fame Bills. I'm your host, Michael May. Thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video to notifications. Y'all already know, man. Till next time, we out.